Epictetus and the Key to Peace, the Stoic secret to stop suffering over what you don't control. He started life as a slave in Rome. He was tortured, injured, and saw his freedom stolen. Yet, he left us the greatest lesson on freedom that ever existed. His name, Epictetus. He said you might have your body in chains, but your mind never has to be a slave. If you feel like life is constantly frustrating your plans, that the world is conspiring against your happiness, you need the one Stoic tool Epictetus gave us, the Dichotomy of Control. It's the secret to immediately stop suffering over what you can't change. This is your war manual. This is another deep dive into the hidden meaning. Epictetus was a practical man, not a theorist. He saw the suffering of his contemporaries, whether slaves or the wealthy, and diagnosed the universal cause, the mixing up of what is within our power with what is not. Frustration doesn't come from pain, but from the surprise that pain exists. Ordinary people, he said, long for external things: wealth, health, reputation. And in doing so, they place their happiness in the hands of fate, of other people, or of uncontrollable factors like the weather or the economy. And that is true slavery. Philosophy begins with the distinction between what is under our control and what is not. This is the golden rule that Epictetus wrote down in his handbook. What is under your power? Your judgment, your opinion, your desires, your goals, and, crucially, your response to events. What is not under your power? Your body, your reputation, possessions, what others say, and everything outside your direct action. Accepting this distinction, he asserted, is the first step toward peace. It's the map that separates the land of serenity from the swamp of misery. Let's expand on the circle of power, what Epictetus allows us to control. It is your personal universe of action. The quality of your life resides entirely here. Your judgments. You don't control the rain, but you control whether you think the rain is awful. You don't control the criticism, but you control whether you think the criticism destroys me. Anxiety and anger are generated inside by your interpretation, not by external factors. Your purpose and desire. You don't control whether the project will succeed, but you control the intention and effort you put into it. The wise person directs their desire only toward what they can achieve, their own excellence. And now what Epictetus teaches us to let go of. The illusion of control is the source of all our pain. When you yearn for something that is not in your power, you are setting yourself up for tragedy. Your body and health, you can exercise and eat well, control. But you don't control aging and disease, non-control. Suffering comes when you wish your body wouldn't age. Epictetus, who was lame, knew that peace didn't depend on a perfect body. The opinion of others, the greatest trap of modern life. You don't control what your boss, your spouse, or the internet thinks. Epictetus tells us, if you base your happiness on others' approval, you are handing the keys to your prison over to someone else. You are a slave to public opinion. Epictetus offers us a practical exercise, very useful against frustration. He calls it "be where it may." It consists of treating the uncontrollable as indifferent. If you are going to travel and worry about the flight, remember, the flight is an external thing. I will do my part, arrive on time, be patient. The rest is not my problem. Frustration is the result of demanding that the uncontrollable bend to your will. When you treat the weather, the economy, or ingratitude as neutral factors, they lose the power to disturb you. Epictetus quote, "Do not demand that events happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will be serene." Epictetus used the metaphor of the banquet. Think of the pleasures of life, your family, your job, your money, as something that was loaned to you, not given forever. This is the secret to detachment without coldness. When life offers you something, enjoy it with gratitude. But remember that you must be ready to return it without complaint. The pain of loss comes from illusory ownership. You didn't lose a job. You returned the job that was loaned to you. This mindset eliminates the unnecessary suffering of grief and frustration. He was direct. If you kiss your child or wife, say to yourself that you are kissing a mortal. Thus, if they die, you will not be disturbed. It is not insensitivity. It is the acceptance of reality. Epictetus reminds us that every reward has a price, and frustration is the result of wanting the reward without paying the price. If you desire peace of mind, the price is detachment from external things. If you want to be a top athlete, the price is sacrifice and pain control. Frustration comes when you want the athlete's body but don't want the training. If you want to be wise, the price is self-discipline and study. When you face an obstacle, e.g., an unfair criticism, ask yourself, is this obstacle the price of peace? Yes. By accepting the price, the obstacle becomes just a part of the payment and not a source of suffering. The most powerful tool Epictetus bequeathed to us is the correct use of impressions. Whenever something terrible happens, or you feel an overwhelming emotion, stop and say to yourself, this is merely a mental impression, and not the thing itself. Anger is not real. It is your representation of an offense. Fear is not real. It is your representation of a future risk. Separate the event from your opinion. The world is not unjust, you think it is. By making this separation, you regain your power to respond instead of simply reacting. The man who lives by the dichotomy of control is, for Epictetus, the only free man. He may be poor, sick, or imprisoned, but his mind is unshakable. He is the master of his own kingdom. The difference from the rest of the world is this. When things go wrong, the ordinary man says, "What bad luck, I didn't deserve this." The unshakable man says, "This is outside my control. What is in my control is how I use this moment to practice patience and reason." He doesn't waste a second of mental energy fighting reality. And because of this, he has all his power available to act. Epictetus's philosophy is a discipline to be practiced hourly. It is not knowledge to be admired, but a tool to be used. Your task is simple. For the next 24 hours, every time you feel frustration, anxiety, or anger, stop and say, "What is bothering me? Is it inside or outside my control?" If it is outside, detach and return it to the universe. If it is inside, act immediately. This exercise in constant vigilance is what forges Stoic peace. It is the silent revolution of your inner self. It is the only path to happiness that does not depend on luck or circumstances. You have absolute power over your mind. You have never been a victim, except by your own choices. Use the wisdom of Epictetus and claim your innate freedom. If you are ready to accept what you cannot change and change what you cannot accept in your mind, subscribe to the hidden meaning. Leave the word freedom in the comments to seal your commitment to the dichotomy of control.